Kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. A fierce blaze tore through popular Dunedin pub Mitchell's Tavern last week. The blaze started after a contractor was cleaning the fryers, but many locals are heartbroken, describing the Caversham bar as a bustling social hub for the community.
The devastating aftermath of a fire that ripped through Mitchell's Tavern in the early hours on Friday morning. Fire crews were called to the blaze around 3:50 a.m. after a cleaner turned on the fryers and went to get something from his van. As he returned, he noticed smoke and flames, running inside to turn the fryers off and call emergency services. The first crews to arrive rushed into the building to attack the fire, but were soon pushed back out after the roof started collapsing.
Heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah.
I just can't believe the devastation.
Yeah.
Really can't.
It took firefighters about half an hour to get the fiery blaze under control, leaving extensive damage to the roof, along with smoke and water damage throughout the building. Crews initially believed someone was trapped inside, but the individual was thankfully located a short time after.
And at the end of the day, it's just a building, you know. It's a business and a livelihood, but like I say, no one was injured, so that's the main thing.
Mitchell's Tavern is a well-loved pub for the Caversham community and the whole of Dunedin, and popular as a venue for many special occasions and gatherings.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. A lot of them won't know what to do actually, because it's a place to catch up and meet people, you know.
5 fire trucks were involved in putting out the blaze, which was extinguished by around 5 a.m. Regular patrons have taken to social media to post messages of support and shock. Many feel it'll leave a massive hole in the community while rebuild plans are considered. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A team of Otago scientists are working hard in the lab, hoping to refine technology that could help detect a health danger before it's too late. Otago University researchers are working to develop a blood test that could detect the early stages of bowel cancer.
A simple blood test that could potentially save thousands of Kiwi lives. Otago University Professor Perry Guilford is leading a research team in developing a non-invasive blood test aimed at detecting bowel cancer in its early stages. Advocate Melissa Vining lost her husband Blair to bowel cancer and is hoping her Hope Without Fear charity can fundraise $1 million towards the research. In a promotional video for the charity, Professor Guilford says it's important to diagnose bowel cancer early when it's still curable, which he hopes this blood test could achieve.
This will take it out to the community. Hopefully it's going to be affordable, that's our intention, and easily accessed by the entire community. So to us, that's the big driver for what we're trying to achieve, is access for the testing for the whole population.
New Zealand has one of the highest rates of bowel cancer in the world. More than 3,000 people are diagnosed each year, with over 1,000 lives lost annually as a result of the disease. PhD student Jordan Lima says developing this blood test could eliminate the need for a colonoscopy.
Not only could it be used for early diagnostics, it could be used for someone who has already been diagnosed with cancer.
The team will continue refining their research with the goal of creating an affordable and accessible blood test to help diagnose people with bowel cancer before it's too late. At Invercargill, the South Today.
A road was closed and a key route into Queenstown was reduced to one lane after a major water main burst in the suburb of Fern Hill earlier this week. The rush of water caused a landslip and the partial evacuation of a popular hotel.
A significant burst water main on Queenstown's Fern Hill Road caused flooding and triggered a landslip on Monday afternoon. The flood of water caused a part of the asphalt road in front of the Heritage Hotel to collapse shortly after lunchtime. Part of Fern Hill Road was closed, with a section of Glenorchy Queenstown Road down to one lane due to the slip. Witnesses describe what looked like a waterfall coming off the side of the hill, followed by a mudslide. 5 appliances responded to the call-out and are helping with salvage operations, including pumping water out of the area. Water got into the basement at the Heritage, with staff evacuating the lower level of the hotel. Contractors aren't sure what caused the water main from the reservoir at the top of the hill to burst. The public is being asked to avoid the area while work continues. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A controversial AntiCo governance roadshow stopped off in Dunedin last weekend but struggled to find a venue while also being met by counter-protesters.
Organiser Julian Batchelor has been touring the country with an AntiCo governance roadshow. Around 70 people gathered at the Kensington Pub on Sunday in South Dunedin, a day after the original scheduled meeting, while protesters campaigned outside. The roadshow was due to be held at a venue in Hillside Road before building owners cancelled that booking. The event then moved to a Scout Hall in Victoria Road, where it was met by counter-protesters who claim the nationwide tour is anti-Māori and promotes racism.
It's been part of our national-wide tour to spread anti-Māori misinformation. Under the guise of AntiCo governance.
There was a police presence at the protest to try and keep the peace, and while some protesters managed to find their way into the meeting, no arrests were made. Those behind the roadshow say they're presenting their views on the dangers of co-governance and trying to gain political support. The tour began in February and moved south this week. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Canterbury University has officially turned 150, making it New Zealand's second oldest university, Otago University beating it by 4 years. Some of its current students have been taking time out of studying for exams to help staff celebrate the sesquicentenary.
Party time in Christchurch. It was cake all round as staff and students gathered to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the founding of Canterbury University.
Dear Canterbury, happy birthday to us.
It's New Zealand's second oldest university and is marking the milestone with a year-long program of events.
We're just going from strength to strength, so it's a great time to stop, celebrate. We've had some hard years, as everyone has, so good time for a party.
Adam says the university is well regarded internationally and believes that reputation will help the institution attract a record 22,000 students by the end of this year.
We're known obviously around the world for our engineering, for our geography. We've got a very strong law and business school, but actually there's a lot of perhaps little hidden gems that people don't know as much about, right across the campus.
She says Canterbury University is the region's second largest employer and a pillar of the Canterbury economy.
We work very hard at that. We want to be a partner for Canterbury and to Waipanamu more broadly, and we work very closely with the councils, businesses, to both be a partner for them, but also make sure we're turning out the graduates that they need to be their future workforce.
But Vice-Chancellor Professor Cheryl Delaray insists the university isn't standing still. She says the institution is constantly adapting and investing in the future.
We are embracing new technology, and that's a big area of investment for us, looking at how to use technology to make sure that what we do remains relevant to our rapidly changing world.
Canterbury University plans to continue the celebrations, with a range of events due to be rolled out this year. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Akine, still to come on Southern Newsweek. Skiers and snowboarders got to hit the slopes last week as Coronet Peak and others opened for the season. And Tairi residents make a splash as the area's new community pool complex officially opens after years of mahi. Welcome back. Well, Tuesday was officially World Refugee Day, acknowledging the strength and courage of people forced to flee their home countries to escape conflict. Invercargill's been part of the Red Cross Refugee Resettlement Program for 5 years, with 100 families settling in the south over that time.
Joyful energy from this family of former refugees. The Congolese Kiwis settled in Invercargill 8 months ago after fleeing violent conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Furaha Nyonsenga admits the cold Southland climate took some getting used to, but the family are thankful to be in a peaceful city with friendly locals.
Now we are very happy because we have family here and other community here. We have communication with other people here. We like it.
They're being supported by the Red Cross Pathways to Settlement program. And Nyonsenga's even been employed as a cross-cultural worker for the organisation, acting as a bridge between cultures and helping to build a strong community. Her parents say they're just happy to be Kiwis, and once they've improved their English language skills, they're hoping to find some work.
So our job is to connect people to the community and help them to be able to become independent and access the services and things themselves.
But Fraser says they're always looking for more volunteers to help with the program. Over the last year, Red Cross has helped settle 20 refugee families in Invercargill, with another 3 families arriving over the next few weeks. Last Friday marked a big milestone as the city welcomed the arrival of the 100th refugee family since the program began in 2018.
Certainly something to celebrate. That's 100 families who have had their lives transformed and who are now living in a safe place, many of whom are contributing back to our society here in Invercargill.
Tuesday is officially World Refugee Day, acknowledging the 32.5 million refugees currently displaced around the world, while honouring former refugees now happily living in new homes. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Skiers and snowboarders have hit the slopes near Queenstown and Wanaka as the South Island's fields roll out progressive openings. Ski areas are waiting on heavier snow dumpings to allow them to fully open all their slopes, but there was still plenty of excitement last week at Coronet Peak.
Champagne was in order as Coronet Peak became the first central Otago ski area to open for the winter season on Friday morning. It was billed as a partial opening, with only the Meadows Express and the Magic Carpet operating. But groups of keen skiers and snowboarders were still lining up to get their first runs of the year. With the pop of a champagne cork, 4 lucky mountain goers got the honour of the first ski lift run and awarded special souvenir First On Chair t-shirts.
Obviously it's good bragging rights having the t-shirt, and for me this is my summer, this is the time of year when I enjoy myself.
I slept in that chair. Yeah. The big bag that's on there is full of blankets and hot water bottles. A bit chilly? Wasn't too bad.
The Peak gondola was open to take guests to the top of the mountain. However, the lack of recent snowfall meant the Queenstown ski resort wasn't able to open the popular Coronet Express. But Coronet Peak ski area manager Nigel Kerr is confident with a few cold nights of snowmaking, it should be up and running soon.
Probably 2 nights snowmaking.
Oh, okay.
It's not too far. It's actually pretty good. If you take a ride up on the gondola, you'll see that it's joinable. We'll get there. We've opened with a lot worse.
Yeah. Coronet Peak is warning skiers and riders the thin snow base means they need to be aware of multiple natural hazards on the trails. But there's plenty of excitement about a good season ahead, with a number of first-time riders using the Magic Carpet as they took to the slopes. Coronet's sister mountain The Remarkables is set to also partially open on Saturday morning, with their Magic Carpets and Lower Park section available to skiers and snowboarders. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Well, it was a big day for the Mosgiel Tairi community as their brand new pool complex was opened to the public. It's been a long project, with initial planning beginning in 2008, but swimmers are relishing the new community facility.
A countdown in the water as swimmers made a big splash in a brand new pool. Mosgiel's new pool complex, named Te Puna o Whakaihu, was officially opened this morning in a ceremony featuring waiata, music and swimming. The new $19.2 million facility includes 5 pools, including spa and hydrotherapy facilities, catering for swimmers of all ages and abilities.
The older age groups really missed having no pool, and that whole water space suited to them with the hotter temperature. It's going to be fantastic for them. And then the paddling pool and the play area for the little ones. 8 lanes plus a learn to swim. It caters for everyone.
The pool project was championed by the Tairi Community Facilities Trust, which raised $4 million locally, with the balance coming from the Dunedin City Council. Trust chairwoman Irene Mosley wasn't afraid of getting her feet wet this morning after years of hard work. She's looking forward to celebrating more this Saturday at a free family fun day, featuring sausage sizzles and inflatables in the pool.
Just a lot of fun, and it's all free as a way to say thank you to the community from DCC.
She's delighted the long-awaited pool facility has finally become reality and hopes it'll be enjoyed by generations to come. In Mosgiel, the South Today.
A resource consent hearing got underway in Queenstown into plans by Waka Kotahi for a revamp around the town's busiest intersection. The Transport Agency wants to alter State Highway 6 at Frankton, along with adding traffic signals and bus lanes.
Resource consent hearings are underway for a major revamp of the intersections beside the BP station in Frankton. Waka Kotahi plan to upgrade the roundabouts on Frankton Road, Hawthorne Drive and Stalker Road into traffic light systems, with the main focus on the intersection next to the service station. The Frankton bus interchange will also be getting an upgrade, doubling the size of the public transport hotspot. The goal of this project is to create more consistent public transport, hoping to encourage people to switch to buses and reduce the traffic build-up points along the Queenstown commute. The project is expected to take 3 to 5 years to complete, and work could start in early 2024 depending on the outcome of this week's consent hearing. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The Southland Charity Hospital in Invercargill is taking shape, with the team behind the facility keen to see it operating by the end of the year. All the workforce are volunteers, which meant construction work was delayed during the COVID-19 pandemic. But there's confidence progress is going well.
Stacks upon stacks of bricks, symbolising the large number of donors who've helped make Southland's new charity hospital build possible. The former Clifton Tavern in Invercargill is being converted into the new facility. Charity Hospital Board member Janet Copeland says she's been overwhelmed by the extent of people's generosity.
Some of the generous donations we've seen are really large, and I think people just understand that our healthcare system perhaps is a little bit broken and that we need to provide support to people.
The project was initiated by the late Blair Vining, who experienced significant gaps in the health system firsthand when he was diagnosed with terminal bowel cancer. The charity hospital is aiming to fill some of those gaps across Southland and Otago, with services to be available for people everywhere south of Oamaru. The centre will feature a fully equipped operating room, a dental suite, 6 recovery beds, and other health facilities providing a range of services.
We want to ensure that anyone who needs care and who passes the means test and has that unmet need, we can hopefully do our best to deliver that care to them.
The Trust has received almost $6 million of donations towards the build. The project's been underway for about 18 months, and while there's still plenty of work to complete, Copeland says the renovation is progressing well.
The generosity that people have had in giving their time and resources and money has meant that we've been able to achieve, I think, an enormous amount in what really is a relatively short period of time.
The goal is to be open and operating by the end of the year, starting to provide much needed services for the southern community. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Whai Akine, still to come on Southern Newsweek. An iconic rock album is brought to life in Dunedin as Pink Floyd's music gets a visual accompaniment, and a convoy of vintage Australian cars drive across Southland for a rally with a bit of rivalry. Welcome back. A visual music show has brought some rock music iconic tracks to life in Dunedin, giving fans a chance to take an immersive journey into the world of Pink Floyd. The new show's making its national debut in the city, giving audience members a chance to experience the 70s band in a new way.
The dark side of the moon coming to life on a giant 360-degree dome. Te Hura Otago Museum is preparing to host a special show featuring the music of legendary rock band Pink Floyd. The timing celebrates the 50th anniversary of the release of the classic album. The show will use the technology of the Perpetual Guardian Planetarium, taking viewers on a multi-sensory experience, combining music, visuals and artistic performances.
Kind of makes you feel like you're in a concert, which is cool. The surround sound and the visuals really make you feel immersed into it. So it's definitely something for that generation and for those who are a bit nostalgic with Pink Floyd to get along to.
The album tracks are known for their psychedelic and thought-provoking themes, which makes for a perfect backdrop for this one-of-a-kind experience. Otago Museum's also the only place in the country that's screening the show in this sort of environment, and the team are excited for fans to enjoy the experience.
It will be really nice to be able to show Dunedinites in Otago the Pink Floyd experience.
The first 3 screenings of the show are scheduled for Thursday night, with more opportunities to experience the essence of Pink Floyd inside the planetarium's dome next month. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Well, Southland got wild last weekend as drivers dressed up for a tour of vintage Australian cars. The Aussie Crawl run saw hundreds of car enthusiasts showing off their street rides with some good-natured rivalry.
A glimpse back in time as some classic hot rods roll into Southland. The annual Aussie Crawl roared into gear on Saturday, the event hosted by the Southland Holden Enthusiasts Club. 78 Ford, Holden and Valiant cars took part in the run, starting in Makarewa and travelling through Matoda, Gore and Mossburn before finishing up in Tiano.
In excess of probably 350 people going to be staying there tonight, so yeah, it is good for the town, absolutely.
The Aussie run features Fords, Holdens and Valiants from the 1960s through to the 2000s, all coming from Australian origin.
I haven't been here very long, but I have seen a couple familiar faces. I know people from work and other parts of Invercargill that are going on this run, so we'll catch up with them later on.
The vintage vehicles also went through a round of judging, with the judges having a fair idea on what to expect.
Well, Fords and Holdens, I suppose. A few Valiants. Yeah.
Almost 400 enthusiasts took part in the run, with club president Dean Cousins saying they don't let the Ford-Holden rivalry get in the way of a good time. In Tiano, the South Today.
Otago's high-performing Rugby on Wheels team is working hard both on and off the court, hoping to grow their big family. The wheelchair rugby team is looking to provide a more inclusive space for players with disabilities and giving them a sense of community.
Nothing will stop these hard-working players from wheeling down the court and playing the sport they love. Members of Otago's Wheellanders team have been practicing their skills ahead of an upcoming wheelchair rugby tournament this weekend. Captain Dylan Maiden took up the sport in 2015, despite having a rare genetic disease that makes it difficult for him to walk and speak. He's also chairman of Parafed Otago and feels proud to see the sport growing as more people get involved. That includes 12-year-old Matt Russell, who's New Zealand's youngest player.
It's all about just having fun and giving everyone can have a go, no matter what kind of disability or anything you have. It's just letting everyone participate, have fun.
Maiden's captained the team for almost 5 years. This will be the Wheellanders' third year competing in the championship.
Every year I'm looking forward to a competition, always bringing new people in.
Maiden is set to lead the team from the front again this weekend, with the Wheellanders playing their first game in the Wheelchair Rugby Championships in Porirua on Saturday. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A rural Southland school has taken on 2 furry companions in an effort to lower stress levels in the classroom for both students and teachers.
These friendly Labradors, named Doug and Molly, attend Northern Southland College every day, acting as support dogs for the school. 5-year-old Doug started his role after COVID-19 hit. Dog owner and deputy principal Janelle Eason feeling his presence could be a morale booster for everyone. Following on the success of that support dog trial, she also brought her 10-month-old puppy Molly along to school, who's now learning the ropes. The Lunston School has a roll of over 200 students. Eason says the support dogs have lifted the mood of both the children and the staff as well.
These two bring a lot of joy to everybody. They're pretty cute, and I think people just really like having them around as a bit of a stress relief.
She believes the need for this kind of support is on the rise for teachers, with the job constantly changing and regular challenges. Eason says staff not only have to teach the students, but often act as a parent figure and social worker for some of the children who don't receive that help at home. In Lumsden, the South Today.
And that wraps up this edition of Southern Newsweek. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube and the South Today NZ on Facebook to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.